How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk more about our favorite hate crime hoaxer, our favorite hoax actor, our favorite hoaxer in general, and one, Jussie Smollett. He has now been indicted on 16 felony counts as it relates to the hate crime that he staged a little while ago. Now, the felony counts aren't for staging the hate crime itself. It's for lying to the police. It's for filing a false police report. 8 of the felony counts are for lying to the responding officer to the scene of the so-called crime. And 8 more of the counts are for lying to a detective after the so-called crime had happened and follow-up interviews. Now, there's a mountain of evidence here. You got him talking on Good Morning America or wherever the show that was, Robin Roberts. You got him at the concert talking about he's the gay Tupac and he fought back, all this, that, and the third. You have a mountain of evidence to be used against him. You got videotape of him, of the Nigerian brothers he decided to hire, all kind of stuff. Now, the lawyers are saying that the 16 felony counts are just over the top. It's vindictive. It's too much. It's overkill, but not really. Look at what he did. He lied about so much stuff. Talking about he fought back. It was a white man. They put a rope around his neck. They tried to lynch him. It was a hate crime. They called him all kind of racial slurs, homophobic slurs. None of that stuff happened. It was a big time fraud. It was a massive scheme. I don't know, maybe to get more attention, more money, more fame, more notoriety. Whatever their intentions were are really irrelevant. The point is that he did it. The evidence is there. So if you did it, you get charged accordingly. 16 felony counts. I'm not really mad at it. Now, each of the felony counts could fetch up to 4 years in the penitentiary. You're talking about 60 plus years total if he's convicted of all of them and they serve consecutively. That probably won't happen. What'll most likely happen is, since he has so many charges on his back, he'll be forced to plead down, because if you take it to trial, he'll get found guilty. He'll get a lot of time in the penitentiary if he goes to trial. There's no way you can say that he didn't do what he's being charged of doing. The evidence is in black and white. It's right there. You're going to have statements signed. You're going to have testimony from the Nigerian guys he hired to be involved with this. You're going to have his own statements. I mean, you have a lot of evidence that points to him actually doing that. So they're pretty much putting him in a situation where he has to plead down. If he gets convicted on any other felony charges, they'll probably run them concurrently, which means at once. So if you get convicted of all 16 counts, if one carries up to 4 years, minimum 1 year, he may do 1 year and have all the sentences run at the same time. So he just serves 1 year rather than 16 years, having them go consecutive, if that makes any sense. But what might end up happening is what the police chief in Chicago said, which was he apologizes and pays a fine. I was not really happy about that, because I was watching that press conference and I was seeing the police superintendent bringing fire and brimstone, really going hard on Jussie Smollett for what he did. But then at the end, when somebody asked him, hey, what would be the appropriate punishment? What would you want to see happen to Jussie Smollett as it relates to a punishment for his crime? He's talking about I like to see an apology and, pay back some of the money. So basically a fine, and that's it. Slap on the wrist. That might not happen. And judging by the way that the indictments have rolled out, it probably won't. He may do some jail time. It may be a sentence that gets suspended or probation or something like that. Either way it goes, he's in a whole lot of trouble and he'll have to plead guilty. So that right there will be some satisfaction. He's not going to be able to presume innocence anymore. And if he does that, then that kind of goes against what he's been saying, talking about I'm innocent, I didn't do it. So that's going to be really interesting to see. Now, this ain't the end, though. The second part of this happened before the fake hate crime, and that was the letter. Remember that, with the powdered substance in it? That right there is a federal offense. That's being handled by the FBI, okay? So that's going to be a problem. The FBI, you're talking about a 98% conviction rate. What makes Jussie believe that he won't get sentenced in the penitentiary for that? There's minor evidence there. When they went to the Nigerian guys' houses, they found magazines with letters and stuff cut out. They're going to say that he did that. He told the Nigerian guys to be involved with that, and they all might go to jail because the Nigerian guys got off in this case because they snitched. Will they get off in the federal case because they snitched? I'm not really sure. They may get less time, but it still might go to the penitentiary, as would Jussie. So that remains to be seen. And he probably lied to the federal people too during that investigation, because I'm not really sure how long it's been going on. It might be going on for a while now, probably before the fake hate crime. So if he lied to them, then, you know, that's going to be a wrap. You see what's going on with Trump right now. People that are around him or that were around him are getting pinched by the FBI for silly stuff. Michael Cohen got sent to the penitentiary, I think, 3 years or something? Or it may have been less than that, for saying that a deal ended in January where it really ended in June. He got locked up for that. So imagine if you go to jail for saying something like that. Imagine what had happened if you stage this big hate crime and mail a fake letter with a white powder on the inside. I mean, that's going to be a really big offense. It may not seem like it's that much on the outside to some people, but nah, you can't do stuff like that. Because what if somebody sent a so-called joke letter to a president talking about, oh, it's got white powder on the inside? That person right there might get sent to Gitmo. You talking about terrorism. You can't do stuff like that. So he's in big time trouble. And I have to ask, as I close, was it even worth it? Was it worth risking your life to do something like this? Was it worth trying to please political allies like Kamala Harris and Cory Booker with the whole lynching thing? Was it worth it to risk your freedom, to risk your life? I mean, this should be a lesson to anybody that's out there that wants to engage in some kind of hate hoax. Don't do it. Please don't do it. It's not going to help you. It won't be beneficial to your career. It's just, you think that you're going to get a lot of attention, a lot of fame, a lot of notoriety, but what you're really going to end up getting is a lot of problems. Don't do it. Just stick to the script and everything should be A-OK. But what do you think? Do you think that 16 felony counts is overkill for Jussie Smollett? Will it go to the penitentiary or any of them in Chicago? I think that he won't get 16 felony convictions in, 4 years each and serve consecutively and get like life in prison off of that. No, he'll get concurrent, if anything, with 1 year, maybe on a suspended sentence. So there will be no jail time. If there is any jail time, it'll be 6 months or something like that. What they really want is money from him. And they're definitely going to get that. You're talking about minimum 7 figures, minimum. You're talking about maybe $5 to $10 million. I think his bail amount was $1 million. So you know that the actual payoff, the I'm sorry money, the oops money is going to be at least $5 to $10 million. And he may not have the money, but he's got to go scrounge it up. You better go to Lee Daniels. You better go to Oprah. You better go to Queen Latifah and all these supporters you have that's out there for that money. You better do that. Just like R did, went to the daycare lady for some money to get him out of jail the first time. But what should the actual penalty for Jussie Smollett be for staging the fake hate crime, for endangering people? Because remember, he said that it was a white man with a MAGA hat on, screaming racial slurs, homophobic slurs, all this, that, and the third. So if you were a white male with your MAGA hat on, you were in danger. What would be the penalty for that? And what should be the penalty for that? Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.